Live, rolling.
Welcome to another edition of Living Your Best Life with Karoline and AJ. I am your host, Karoline, and my co-host is my husband, AJ. How you doing, AJ?
What's up, Dr. Caroline? How are you today?
I'm always doing great. Always
All right.
living my best life. What about you?
Come on.
Okay.
You know your boy here.
Yeah.
Who's living better than me?
Nobody.
Just spoke to my financial guy. He told me I could live till I'm 95.
And
So I'm good.
Yes, he did say that.
Well,
I'm not
actually,
gonna lie.
he said that for you. He said I was 85.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know how it is. Y'all
That's
women,
right.
that's what y'all do to me.
That's exactly
Y'all
right.
been killing us,
That's
taking years
exactly
off our
right.
lives.
He gave me more.
Come on.
10 years more.
Yeah, we're gonna have a talk with this man.
Nah, that's okay. We know. Because I'm going to be here to 112. I already put that in the universe. I done told y'all.
I keep telling you, you'll make it as long as you leave me alone.
As long as you
You
stay out
messing
my
me up.
way.
I'm gonna get that shovel,
Stay out my
some
way.
bleach. You'll be in the backyard.
Okay, stop. We have to stop because we have a guest. And we can't be airing our dirty laundry. Well, we have a guest, people. Anyway, we do have a guest today.
Yes,
and
we
she's
do.
living her best life. I have sitting next to me Miss Linda Miller. Linda is the founder of HappyReadingLLC.com, a supportive community that helps educators transform their lives through time management strategies and literary wellness. She provides high-level trainings, coaching, and speaking for educators who want to work with ease and have opportunities to experience joy. Linda teaches educators how to live a life that is illuminated by what truly matters, which is serene, empowered, and full of joy, so that they live their life on their own terms. Her clients and students value her teaching style and approach to helping them reach their goals faster than they thought possible. Linda is an avid reader, loves to travel, eat a great meal, and dance to good music, just like you and I, AJ. Yes. She believes that you can do more with less when you have a strategy, structure, and system in place. And she is here with AJ and I so that we can talk about living our best life.
Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up.
Hey.
All right,
Yes,
but
yes, yes.
before we get started, all right, because I have only met this woman once before,
Yes.
so this is my second time, and what's she gonna find out about me? I'm gonna put her on blast right out the gate. I have a flag that I fly out in front of my house, and I fly several different flags. I'm in the backyard chilling. Wife comes in, she's like, "Baby, your flag was." I was like, "What happened?" Brought my tools out, made a quick repair. I run out front, put my flag up. Doorbell rings, and she brings this one in the back, and she says, "I saw you put the flag up." I'm like, "Well, why didn't you call me and say something?"
It's not like she didn't know you.
So she gonna come up here, she knows she gonna hang out with, she come up here creeping. Did you hear that bio she just said? She can't do none of that stuff, but she gonna put her mouth and speak.
Exactly.
Oh,
She ain't say nothing to me. What's up with that?
I knew I was going to see you in a few minutes.
I just had to put that in the universe for you folks to see what we operating
That's
with.
what we working with.
And I didn't want to bother you while you was doing your work.
I appreciate that, but I can multitask. Unlike most men who can do one thing, we can't chew gum and walk, I'm one of them guys who can do a few things at once. All right?
You can do a couple of things.
I'm going to let you go this time, but the next
Okay.
time I got you.
Okay.
You can do a couple of
Well, welcome.
things.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, we're happy to have you. So, you know, one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on this show is because ever since I met you, you have been on the move. Oh my gosh, she's been on the move. She's doing everything, and everything is positive. I'm like, you know what? I see you.
Thank you.
I see you.
I like
And I
that.
need to have you on my show.
Thank you.
So how you doing?
I'm doing good. It's a little hot, but I'm all right.
It's cooler than it was.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I'm glad that I can feel the heat and the coolness.
Yeah, I
That's
like
true.
that.
That is absolutely true.
I like that.
Somebody woke up and they didn't feel anything.
Tell me about it. That's one of my favorite lines.
Preach.
I don't care how bad my day is going, somebody didn't get a chance to get that day. So I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we always give our guests an opportunity to talk about themselves because, you know, me and Al, we will talk about ourselves all day. So we want to give our guests a chance to talk about themselves. So, you know, you have to sell yourself. So tell us all about you. Tell us what we did not hear in this bio, because we can read a bio,
Right.
but
Okay.
we want to know about you.
Well, one, I'm a mom of a 37-year-old.
Okay?
I'm a speech therapist by trade.
Ooh,
I
okay.
work with deaf and hard of hearing students. I love what I do. I love traveling. love doing all. I'm an avid reader. So anytime you find me, I usually have a book in hand.
I love language.
For real.
Yes.
I usually do. I just like to have fun. I love to laugh. I love to have other people laugh by my laugh. And I've been told that it's contagious.
Okay, well that's good. We're gonna have a good time
Right, I like
today.
that.
We're gonna have a good time.
And I love being around people who are open-minded, not living in a box,
Okay.
and willing to just, go for it, whatever it is. Even if it's not right, you got an opportunity to do it again.
There you go.
As long as you keep waking up, you have an opportunity to keep doing.
Exactly.
I like that.
And I've learned over time, stop hindering yourself.
Oh, we do that all the time.
Stop it. Like, it doesn't matter what you may think or you may think. I have to say, you know what? Thank you, God. Thank you for giving me the opportunity and the desire. Let's go.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
So I would like to walk back a little bit.
Okay.
I'd like to know where you were born and do you have siblings?
Okay, so I was born in the Bronx,
Uh-oh. BX?
right? So I'm the youngest of four.
Okay.
And then when I was 4, we moved to Jersey. So I've been living the majority of my life in Patterson, New Jersey.
Okay. All right. P-Town. All right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I worked Patterson for 10 years. You give me a street and give me a house number, I'll tell you the color.
Oh,
That's
wow.
how well I knew Patterson.
Wow. And parents are by way, have my roots in South Carolina. My
Okay.
father's from Charleston, and my mother's from Saluda.
One of them
South Carolina.
Geechees.
Yes. Yes. Somebody who understands. Do you understand red rice?
I know all that. My family's
Okay.
from North
Somebody.
Carolina.
Okay. Come on.
You know.
People don't understand what red rice is.
We got you. We got
Yes.
you. Listen,
Somebody
we
who
are
understands.
cultured here.
We are pretty cultured.
I love it.
There's nothing we haven't tried, and things that we haven't tried, we are going to still try.
You need to stop sitting up there being so polite, because
What?
where's your roots from? Your mom and dad.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, you mean my mom and dad? Because I
Exactly.
was born in Brooklyn and moved to Teaneck when I was 2. So
But we ain't talking about you. We talking
that's
about your
what you
roots.
said, my roots. Okay. So my mom and dad were from South Carolina.
Exactly.
Bennisfield.
Okay.
So y'all
Yeah.
got, see, y'all, this that energy already. That y'all didn't even know y'all were looking for each other.
No.
But that energy was in the universe, and y'all was found each
Most
other.
of us will say that we came from the South somewhere, whether it was South Carolina or North Carolina. We Virginia, somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then
But
my
it's
mother
nice
and father
feel that.
moved back, not to South Carolina. They moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where their last resting places was.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we Southern girls. Well, I'm a Northern girl, but got Southern roots.
Yeah, every summer you had to go back, so
Let's see your peeps.
You are right.
you got dropped off during revival time.
Yeah,
You
oh,
know,
right.
like, is that the only time we can go?
Yeah.
You're right. You are absolutely.
Yeah,
you
I
ain't
was the rebel in the
said-
family,
You
so
ain't
they-
said nothing wrong.
When they would drive down, they would throw the rest of them out the car, and then the car would turn around. I'd be in the car heading back, and I'd be bye. I couldn't take it down there. I'm a Northern through and through.
No.
I'd like to ask you, since growing up,
Okay.
and you worked your way to the education field, what was life like growing up? That journey you took to become the woman you are now.
Let's see. Growing up with a military father.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay,
now
okay.
That's a story
okay.
right there.
All for
Okay.
one and one for all.
Okay.
So I'm the youngest, but whoever got in trouble, everybody paid the price for whoever it was.
That's a good man.
No.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
he is. He's teaching unity and discipline.
We didn't like it.
You didn't have to like
Yeah.
it.
I know. My father, he believed that education was his time. He
Wow.
said summertime was mommy's time.
Okay.
So he was the type of man
Wow.
that he would go. This is when you could just show up at school. You didn't have to. You didn't have
Oh,
to make an
yeah.
appointment.
Yes, yes.
And he was best friends with the principal.
Okay,
And
okay.
our principal was pretty nice.
Okay.
Pretty nice. But he could just show up. He would show up in his 3-piece suit, well, all the time, no matter what, and his Stacy Adams shoes.
Stacy's.
I remember those Stacey Adams.
Your pop was a player.
Right. So he'd walk in, and he wouldn't disturb the class.
He's sitting there.
He just wanted to see
observe.
what the teacher was doing
Mhm.
and what you were doing.
Yes, I love it.
And I'm like, well, I'm one of the good ones. Like, my other sisters, they had mouth.
Yes.
Like, why are you here for me? But yeah, Daddy, he believed in school. He believed
Yeah.
that you had to bring all of your books home.
Okay. So
Okay.
he can examine them to find out what you're doing.
Right.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
All the books.
What's wrong with that?
Oh my gosh.
Making
oh,
me look
no.
like a slacker. I don't know how my kids made it.
Oh my goodness. Oh my. He hated when we got to high school because you didn't have to do all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he was very effective. I mean, and then mom and dad were together,
I love
but
it.
they had their whatever they were gonna do, and they didn't. it was unity
Okay.
Yeah.
within the household. So
That's what
just
you like to say, yeah.
reading was a major part of it. Like when I went to, I didn't go to daycare,
Okay.
but daycare was at home.
Yes, because you
So-
got it
Yeah.
at home.
Right. So I learned we didn't have all that. I don't know if they believed in that.
Right,
They
right.
believed in just taking care of their kids.
I ain't believing that either. My
Yeah,
kids be with my
we didn't do
kids.
that either. I stayed home.
They
Right,
say
right.
if you saw one Jones, just count 1,000 women. Here they come.
Right. So we knew what to do
Yeah.
by the time we went to school. So I'll give you a story. So in our house, you couldn't say why. Parents said it. Whatever they said, you couldn't ask why. So that was not allowed. You're in
Okay.
trouble if you're asking, well, why I can't.
Okay.
You just better do what you told.
Right. So when I went to school and they were saying the ABCs, I would omit why. And the teacher said, well, Linda, you have to say. I said,
X,
no.
Z.
I said, no. Daddy said there's no why.
There's no
She
why.
had to call the house and had to get the information. He said, no, there is no why in my house.
Okay.
But the alphabet, so he had to explain to me. I'm like, well, that's the rule, and I'm not getting in trouble.
Wow.
Exactly.
So that's, the ingrainment was
Yeah.
going on there.
What I'm hearing here, and this is again, I don't think y'all really understand how kindred sisters you are. Her father, military man.
Yeah, I went through the
But
same
he
thing.
wasn't
I'm
as
listening to you.
disciplined
Yeah.
as your father was. But
Disciplined.
the obedient child,
Yeah.
her,
Me?
and I'm
Yeah.
hearing that from you too.
Yeah.
We had no choice.
There are some people who
I
just
like it.
there are some people who just get it. At the time, there's 12 of us.
Okay.
But he's right. I was the obedient child, and I stayed that way even as I got older.
Okay.
It still took a long time for me to understand. You're grown now, and you can kind of do what you want to do.
Mhm.
But you know what happens when things are ingrained in
Right.
you, so you just kind of stick with it. So there you go.
Yeah. So
But you can't complain because look at you, right? And look at me. So we say to ourselves, we needed that, so we can be the women we are
I
today.
guess. I
Yes.
guess. But when I had my daughter, I didn't want to be like that.
Yes, of course.
So
Me
I
either.
so I changed up a little bit.
course.
There's still structure. There's still
Yes.
order.
Yes.
There's still would you have to do what I say?
Yes.
But as she got older, it's so funny. Our church had parenting classes, so they wanted to change the outlook upon if you were a teen mom.
Okay.
So they wanted to change that aspect of what that looked like and how people would treat you.
Okay.
And what I enjoyed what my pastor did, he had some of the older women who may have been married now, but they were teen moms at one point.
Yes.
And he had them leading it, so it was
Yes.
just like they was throwing their arms around it. So it's not like it's a stain.
Yes.
It's something that happened,
Yeah.
Yes.
and now we can
Yeah.
move forward. But at the time, 'cause my daughter was laughing, she said, "Mom, Tony, what? You going to parenting class?
Yes.
What's going on?" But what I did take away and what I did learn, how to speak to her.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we don't use like always, never, those kind of terminology.
Okay.
We don't use those things. So
Wow.
you don't always not wash the dishes. You don't always something like that. We say sometimes.
Yes.
And she had the opportunity. I would give her an opportunity, like an hour in a day. You can say whatever you want
Mm.
with reason
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
to
Yep.
speak your piece.
Yes. Yes. Because
And then I had to take it, and then I would work on it. And then
Okay.
years later, she said, "Ma, you're doing a good job." With one mother, that she said, "You're doing a good job, I think you're doing a good job." And I said, "You can't tell people you're a good parent. The child will tell you
Yes.
whether
Yeah.
you're a good parent
Oh,
or not."
that is preaching. You preaching right there.
Yeah.
Woo.
And I had to learn that. And I was like, you know what? She's right.
Yeah.
You can say I'm the best, but then if you are not really good with your parents, you don't
Is it
know.
true? Yeah.
Right? Is
Yeah.
it really true?
So you have the one daughter.
Yes.
Okay, so you raise a single child, and I'm listening to you because I was the middle child, and obviously with my wife being, 1 of 12,
That
I
middle
always
sibling.
teased them. I used to say, "Y'all ain't get nothing." Okay.
That middle sibling.
And
I
we
don't
was
know.
spoiled, okay, because we was living good,
There was only 3 of you, though.
But do you feel that we raising 2 children? I always felt if I raised one child, that child would have been spoiled beyond compare, because I would have just, what you said about how you were raised, it's not that you're breaking the cycle. You learned some incredible life lessons through that training, but like you said, you didn't want to raise your child that way. So do you believe you spoiled her, or you gave her what was required because the journey that you also took?
I think I gave her what was required, and I also believe that I had to grow with her
Okay.
because I was 18.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
Yes.
But I still wanted to do it my way.
Okay. Okay.
And I was living at home, and that was hard.
Yes.
3 older siblings,
Three
They-
older siblings.
and
Yes.
they have. I'm the youngest in the family.
Yes.
So they have no children.
Oh wow.
I'm the only one with a child. They
So they all giving you advice.
right, and they all giving me advice. They
Right
never
advice,
had
because
me.
you're doing it wrong.
Right,
Yes,
exactly. And then they go to mommy, and it's just, well, can I just try it out?
Wow. Okay, that's deep.
So I think that I did okay.
Oh no, no,
No,
I know you did
I bet
okay.
you did okay.
Oh yes, because like I said, that's why I like to go backwards
Yeah.
to come forward, because it helps me walk the steps with you,
Okay.
so I can see your journey. And I'm loving your dad already. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
And he said I can't catch a break because even the grandchild is a girl.
Yes.
Because it's all girls. I
Oh.
said, well.
Yes, he was looking for that boy.
The little-
And it's
to
funny
raise
because my mom wanted all boys. She got all girls. And the first grandbaby and the only grandbaby
Yeah.
It's a girl.
is a girl.
You know, girls are hard. You know.
Girls are demanding.
I only have one daughter and one granddaughter.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, my granddaughter
She running things.
is running things.
You saw the backyard?
That's her backyard.
I said it was my backyard. Go
That's
back
her
there and look.
backyard.
That's her backyard, okay? Everywhere she goes, she just take over. She come down here, she got a little set of drums upstairs. She come down here and play my drums. Like, what you doing? She's like, Pop, I got it.
She
But,
takes
but to your question, I don't believe I spoiled her as much. Maybe some leniency on some things.
Of course.
But
of course.
not really spoiled
Yeah.
my siblings.
Of
Because they
course.
want to do things and they want to. I'm
They
like,
have to.
You know, you can do all that if you want to. Because as she get older, the presents that she's going to be requiring
Yeah.
going to cost.
From you,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I remember it was one Christmas and my sister, because she has kids. She loved children, but she doesn't have children.
Okay.
Right.
So she's a nurse on the baby floor, you know.
Oh.
So I think that's a part of why she stays there, because
Yeah.
she wants children. She cannot have. She didn't have any children.
Okay.
And one Christmas she had a big old bag, but there wasn't a lot of things in it. And so my daughter's like, "What's that?" I was like, "You be grateful."
Yeah.
But I told my sister, I said, "Look, I give my daughter 2 presents.
Okay.
One she knows and one she doesn't.
Okay.
And I still do that. And she's 37.
Okay.
And she's good with it.
Yeah.
I said, see, you buying all this stuff, she's going to be looking for it.
Exactly.
I give her 2 things. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you, I was a utility worker, and I didn't like to work overtime, but there was one week I would work overtime. That was Thanksgiving week, because it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we were off Thursday and Friday for the holiday. And I would work with the holiday, and I would work 12 to 16 hours, and then I worked Saturday and Sunday. Because when that check landed, when you came to my house on Christmas, my kids was like, there's in Toys R Us. Have at it. I want to ask you another question, because I'm hearing, I can feel your father's presence. What do you feel you got from your mother?
Do things, like just try to keep things at ease. But I didn't really have a good relationship with my mom.
Okay.
Not really. But there was some things, even when the house was rocking and rolling, sometimes, you know, parents not really getting along or arguing, she still did what as a wife
Yeah.
would do.
Okay.
She still did
Okay.
what a mother would do. She
Okay.
still showed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even in our difficulties, there are certain areas and certain places and certain times, she still showed up.
Wow, I'm loving it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even though, you know, things weren't always great, there were some things like you still have to do. You still have to show up.
Oh yeah.
You
A lot of
still
people don't
have
know
to,
that.
Yeah, you still have to show up.
Yeah.
Who else gonna show up?
Yeah.
And now being a single person, who else gonna do it?
No,
But
right.
me.
Yeah.
But even like just making sure and taking care, like at one point you figure we weren't well to do,
Right?
but let me tell you that table was always prepared.
Tell me about it.
It was always spread.
Yeah.
That's right.
And Saturday we can have outside food.
Okay.
Every other day there was a meal prepared.
Okay.
And so when people say, well, I don't like leftovers, I said my mother would take the leftovers and it was a new meal.
New meal.
Same
So
with
she
me.
knew what
That's
to
right.
do.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So I knew you learn those things. You
Yes.
learn how to keep it going, but you learn how to take care of the family. And sometimes to her judgment, she would come last.
Yes.
I choose not to be last.
Ooh,
I choose to be
ooh.
first.
Wait a minute. Let me rewind. Say that again and say it louder, please.
My mother chose to be last.
Mhm.
I choose to be first.
Okay, now I need you to look at her and say it again. Say it the third time.
My mother chose to be last. I choose to be first.
I get that. That's
Okay.
where my daughter is.
Feel that raindrops coming down on you?
You know what?
But I had to learn. I had to learn that.
Yes, because y'all are women and mothers. That is, I
Yeah.
believe, you know, I don't like the stereotype, but there's certain things. Fathers ain't like that. Fathers like, look, if you remember back in the old days before we had plumbing in the house and they had the big metal tub, they would fill the tub with water, okay? The father took the bath first. He got out. the mother did not take the bath. The kids would take the, well, actually the kids did take the bath less because the line was throw the baby out with the bath water.
Yeah.
But it was that descending line from the oldest down,
Yes.
and
That's
then
how
the
we
last
did it.
baby was
That's
because,
how we did it.
and mothers always give of themselves.
Yeah.
And I guess that is a part of the condition of being a mother, and I think it translates larger into the larger thing of womanhood, okay? But I just love what you said just now, because, you know, I don't want you to walk around and be selfish, but I want you to understand that's a part of your self-worth, so you know who you are and what you will demand, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, woo, that was, I'm getting chills.
And I get that, but part of who I am is I'm a giver. I've always been a giver. So part of who I am, just like my ministry, I have a women's empowerment ministry. I work toward empowering women.
Right.
But there's a certain amount of empowerment that comes. I have to be empowered in order to be able to empower, right? I have to be filled in order to be able to help somebody else feel. So even though it may seem like I'm giving so much of myself, I do take care of myself, because if I don't take care of myself, then I won't be
Right.
able to take care of all the ones around me that I do. Sometimes I get frustrated, as of yesterday, he's probably saying it because yesterday I'm like, okay, that's it, I'm done with this, because I got to do some stuff, you know.
And sometimes it takes that.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
And throwing everything up, I'm done.
One of my favorite lines when we were coming up, you know, I'd give her some money, you know, so let's just say I gave her $100, and I'd be like, and don't spend it on the kids.
Yes.
So I get it.
Yeah.
So now I would like to kind of, let's walk, because now I want to see how you got your way to become this teaching, and what steered you in that direction. Did you go to college for that? What got you? Did you just love it in school? What started bending you in that direction?
Actually, becoming a speech therapist, I was watching something on Channel 13, and I saw an interpreter.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that looks interesting. I
Not
want
the
to do
one
that.
with Barack. though.
No, the definitely was outraged. I was outraged. I'm like,
That's
what
my
is-
guy.
I was outraged.
I was like, what
That's
is he
awful.
doing?
That is awful.
They didn't do their research. That's the problem. That's the problem. But no, I saw that on TV, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. So I went to school. I started out community college, because that was funny. After I had my daughter, the first question was, so you going to school? You going to go? There's a school downtown.
Wow.
Yeah.
My
So
man.
they were behind me in that, like, okay, so you had a baby, okay.
That don't mean nothing.
They had to, you know, because, you know, they was big in the church, so they had to get past that part,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
Yep.
and go, okay, so what we doing now? We going to
Yeah.
school. So it started there, and then I went to William Patterson.
Oh, Willie P.
Yeah, so I did undergrad for speech therapy, and then I took off time, and with my daughter, and then trying to get in school, because it was hard, it was very competitive, trying to get into that.
Okay.
So I wind up some years later, I think it was 2002,
Okay.
I wind up going out of state to Northern Arizona University.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, they had a summer program.
Mhm.
So a lot of us, because they were changing the rules on your degrees, so a lot of people went there just to get that together.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
so I had to go all the way out to Arizona, which was cool, and it was interesting because my oldest sister, I left her with my daughter,
Mm.
and then I learned
The
that
one that was the nurse?
no,
Oh, okay.
no. Well, you know, let me take that back. She's a nurse as well.
Okay, but she's not that one.
No, not
Okay,
that one.
because I was like, she was raising her baby. She was
Oh,
happy.
no.
Okay.
No, and that's the thing, because I had moved out.
Okay.
And I didn't want to disrupt my daughter's life,
Yes,
because
right.
I was doing something different.
Yes.
But I also learned that you can't just leave the state without any type of guardian for your child.
Okay.
Because it's illegal.
Okay.
Right.
It's illegal.
So I had
Okay.
to, I'm like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
glad someone
Yeah,
told me that, because
yeah.
I was just going to
Because
leave.
it would have been
Because we don't-
abandonment.
Listen,
Right.
That's how
we
they
did that for centuries. Ain't nobody know that.
Right, but I
Okay.
didn't know that somebody, when I was
Yeah.
working, they said, oh, you got to go to the notary and put
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
sister in charge.
Wow.
So if anything happened to my daughter, she's in charge.
Y'all hear that? We putting y'all up on game out there.
Yeah, you can't
Okay,
just
anybody
leave.
thinking about that, just dot them I's and cross them T's out. Listen to that.
Right, she couldn't make a move, but she
Yeah.
could do something. But she was always calling me anyway. And
Sure.
then in that moment, she said, you do a good job, because, oh my goodness, you gotta, all this stuff you gotta know. And
Yeah.
she's asking me questions. Is it true you let her do? Oh, okay. Is it okay? I said, yes. And then they bonded and they had their own relationship. So I did that for like 3 summers. So
Wow.
but every summer, I had to have that paper written.
Yeah.
So she kept it at all times. So if anything happened medically, that she could take her and do things. So.
Yeah.
But that's what that was about.
No, that's good.
Mhm.
Speech pathology. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow, that's a very interesting
love it. I love what I do. I love.
That's a one-of-one type. So there
Yeah,
ain't many
that's,
folks, you know.
yeah, that's a. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I didn't know what you did in education.
They don't know what I do either,
Yeah,
and I've been working overtime.
It's so funny because the first thing AJ said to me, he goes, "Okay, so is she a teacher? What does she do?" And I'm like,
Yeah, humana.
I'm like, I don't know.
I got to get the bio.
I was like, I told her to send me a bio.
And it's not even on there. I don't even think I put it on there.
That's why we allow our guests to talk about themselves.
Absolutely.
Because it's something you always forget.
Yeah, but I love it though.
I was going to ask you, what, because that, people want to tell history, they want to do math, they want to do English. What is drawing you to this? Because this is not a regular type field.
Well, one, I can do as I please.
Okay.
Within parameters.
Yeah.
And I'm helping someone communicate. Someone who has difficulty communicating in such a way, I'm giving them the tools and strategy to do that.
Okay.
So that they can be with ease. Because there's nothing more frustrating than you're trying to tell your wife something and you can't get it out. And she's assuming what you're trying to say. She's assuming what you want. And you're getting mad, and then you start acting out because you're frustrated.
Of course.
And then, or you just give up.
Yeah.
And you go and you don't talk at all. Or you don't try to communicate because communication.
Start shutting down.
Right.
Sure.
Communication, 90% is nonverbal.
Yeah.
10% we talking.
Yeah.
So just trying to, and I really love it. Like just coming up with different activities, just trying to figure it out. I remember it was one student I had, and he nonverbal student, no words at all. So then one day, he knew where I kept all the playthings. So I knew what he liked. I found out he liked Play-Doh.
Okay.
I said, okay. Because that's why you try to find out something they like, then maybe they'll spark something.
Okay.
And so one day we were sitting there, and then all of a sudden he went to the cabinet, and he started hitting it. And I'm like,
What's up?
okay, let's work this out. And then he started pointing. I was like, oh my goodness, he communicated. He wanted to Play-Doh. I'm like, yes.
Okay.
Now, what ranges of ages are you dealing with?
I work from pre-K to 8th grade.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a large range.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm in the elementary school.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have different needs.
Right, they have
Yeah, so
different needs.
I didn't know you did full-on nonverbal,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, sometimes it depends. And
Yeah.
sometimes it'll spark, and sometimes they will talk. Like we always tell the parent, I'm not a magician. I don't know when or if your parent will talk.
Yeah.
I mean, your child will talk.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like when my daughter was born, she was born early,
Okay.
right? And she didn't speak.
Okay.
So you know how they're hitting the baby?
Yes.
And my mom is in the room with me. And I'm like, well, Mommy, are you going to keep letting them hit the baby? Like, what's going on? Is she alive or dead?
Yeah.
They
Wow.
had to whisk her off to the NICU
Yes.
because of oxygen or whatever was happening with her. And I'm like, but so I understand a parent wants to hear
Your
their
baby.
child.
Yes.
I get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I sometimes try to professionally tell the parent you have to have if your child didn't come out the way you thought.
Yes.
You have to have a funeral for the one you thought you was gonna have,
Okay.
and then celebrate the one you have.
I love that. Good.
That's a
okay.
very good.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because
Okay.
if not, you're gonna be frustrated for life.
You're trying to make them
Absolutely.
something they're not.
Right.
Okay.
You have to work with them. So, but yeah, I love what I do. Like,
Right.
I wouldn't change it, and I don't want to be in a classroom.
Yeah.
I don't want to be stuck in a box. Even though we have such great teachers, that's just not my calling.
Okay, well, I hear you.
And
It
do
ain't
you-
everybody's calling. I got that.
Do you
Yeah.
go from school to school? Are you located in one particular
Now
school?
I'm in
and-
one school.
Okay.
I'm in one school. But I've done that school to school to school.
Okay.
I don't like it that much.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So
And-
you like being stationed in one.
I like being stationed because it makes you feel like you're at home.
Okay, I got that.
But sometimes, like last year, I had to go into a different school to help a colleague out,
Yep.
which was fine because it was a break.
Okay.
So it was like, okay, get a break. 'Cause sometimes you need a break.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need a break.
And that story you just told was incredible. Give us one where you kind of, you're on this journey, you're doing it, and when you had that breakthrough moment with one of your students, you were like, oh, I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay, so you ever watch Charlie Brown?
Yes.
Of
And
course.
Charlie Brown's teacher.
Yes.
Okay,
Wah,
so
wah, 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 wah.
okay, so I had a student, God rest his soul, he passed away a couple of years ago,
Okay.
and he stuttered. Well, he had serious articulation problems,
Okay.
where it sounded like Charlie Brown teacher, like
Wow.
no joke.
Okay.
Wow.
You had to know the context of what was happening, or you wouldn't know what he was saying.
Okay.
A couple of years later, so every 3 years we test our students to see what their progress, do they still need extra services or not. If not,
Okay.
we keep going and keep building.
Okay.
In 3 years, like 3 to 4 years, all of a sudden, he was talking. clearly.
Wow.
Clearly.
That's a, yes.
And I'm like,
Clearly.
Yes.
Went from Charlie Brown's teacher to
Clearly.
clearly talking.
to clearly.
That's amazing and should be celebrated.
Okay.
Yes, clearly talking. I was like so excited for him because I'm like, that was one of those times.
Okay, see, people, are you feeling that? Anytime you're doing something that you feel is a passion of yours or your life work, and when you have those breakthrough moments, because you talked about needing that break, and sometimes you got to go recharge yourself, but it's moments like that that make you dig down the trenches and say, this is why I'm here, this is why I
Exactly.
do what I do.
Exactly. It
Okay.
always brings you back to your why.
Yes.
Yes.
Because
Whoa,
sometimes.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
You
I
can't
thought we
say
said we
why.
couldn't say why.
Oh.
Yeah. It doesn't bring us back to our why.
Yo, Pop, I got you.
No.
All right, we're going to make an exception today because we're on the podcast. All
I
right?
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But no, it's those days where you're having like a bad day, and it's like, I also had like a parent, good parent. She said, "Oh, I just want you to just work with my child." I said, "Okay." Nobody was picking her up. I'll pick the child up. I worked with her, but in the end, the family.
Got in the way.
No.
Oh.
The family were thankful.
Oh.
So when the
Okay.
child, she's a twin. So when they graduated, it's like we're inviting you to the celebration.
Yes.
Like, so it was me and a couple of other people who worked with their
Okay.
child, and all the family is walking around. Thank you for working with her. We understand her. Thank you for working with her. And it was like the family understood,
Yes.
and they were appreciative to that. So I'm
Okay.
like, I just think I'm just
Doing what I'm
something.
supposed to do, yeah.
And I would always go back to the mom, because sometimes I was having a bad day with some parents, and she would go, "Miss Miller, just tell them the good news." I'm like, sometimes they don't want to hear the good news.
Yeah.
But I will always go back to her, and I can always call her up and just talk with her because we became friendly.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You
Like,
can't pay for that.
No,
Yeah.
you can't.
Yeah. I love it. I
I said
love
that's
it.
the only parent I have a phone number for. That's
Yeah.
it. That's all I want.
I love it.